Not many people can get an 8.5 in IELTS speaking, but my student Ali did. And in this video, he explains how he did it. Hello, this is Keith from English Speaking Success and the website Keith Speaking Academy. Welcome. Today I have another IELTS speaking success story for you. One of my students, Ali, who's from Iran, got an 8.5 in IELTS speaking recently. And he's here to share his journey and his experience. Ali is on the Gold course, IELTS Speaking Success, Get a Band 7+ Gold. And because he gets, like all students, you get lifetime access to the course. Even after the IELTS test, you can still come back, follow the course. And Ali says he's still going to come to some of the live lessons we do twice a month in our private group. I think you're going to love this video because Ali shares his strategies in part 1, part 2 and part 3 of the test. I think he will be an inspiration for all of you all over the world. I would like you also to listen carefully to the language he uses, to the expressions and the phrases he uses when he speaks. I think not only is he an inspiration, but the language he uses is beautiful. In fact, it was so nice. I made a PDF of all the useful phrases that he uses. And if you want, you can just click on the link in the description, download it for free, and hey, you can start your journey to 8.5 in IELTS speaking too. Right now, let's get into the interview. Ali, hello. Nice to see you. How are you?
Hi, Keith. How are you today? Actually, it's been a dream for me to talk to you. Yeah. Are you
Great.
okay?
Well, listen, I'm very excited as well. I'm very good today, thank you. And I'm very excited about having this conversation with you, finding out more about you and your IELTS journey, if you like. Let's begin at the start, Ali. Tell us a bit about where you're from, what you do.
Yeah, of course. I come from Iran, and I was born and bred in Abadan. It's a small border city in the south of country, and it is really famous for the hot weather, sweltering weather in summer, but lovely and welcoming people, yes, as well. And after war, actually, I ended up living in Tehran. It's a capital city of Iran, and it's famous for hospitality, services, business, and as well, it is a little notorious for traffic and air pollution, like
Right.
other big cities, of course.
And what are you doing in Tehran?
Actually, I've been to actually, yes, I work as a solution provider and for a big company, and I've been with the company for more than 25 odd years. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Great. Now, recently, you've taken the IELTS test. Tell us about, well, first of all, why did you take the test? Why was that important for you to do it?
Well, it's a good question because that's the main reason for me. Because I've been teaching for IELTS about 10 odd years, but I felt a little bit, for example, I don't know, stilled in a way that so I couldn't move. So I really wanted to push my comfort zone, believe me or not. So and think out of the box. And IELTS, actually, it was just like a motivation for me to go through. Because, as I said, I've been teaching and I just wanted to build up my confidence and take up a challenge for myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. Great. So
Thank
you're an
you very
IELTS
much.
coach as well, an IELTS teacher. I mean, hats off to you because I think it's fantastic for you to kind of set an example for students to do the test and to go through it. And what score did you get?
Actually, I got, for my speaking part, I got 8.5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done,
Thank you
you.
so much. It was kind of surprise for me, and I did it well. I know I did it well, but for example, my point of view is all about, for example, to use complicated, not really formal, not formal, natural, but a little complicated sentences. So, I watch your videos. It was my journey. Yeah, I watch your videos. I practice really well, and really hard. And because I had some classes, so I was able to speak about, for example, 8 hours in English. So it was a great help for me, yeah, to go through, go over, and do it in a routine. It was my routine, yes, to speak in English.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you talked about the challenge there, which I think is true for a band 8 and above, is to be natural, but use some complicated vocabulary and grammar. You have to show that range, right? So when you were preparing for IELTS and IELTS speaking, I mean, you said you practiced a lot. How did you practice?
Well, it's a good question. Actually, I practiced every single day. Right. Since I got up in the morning, I just started to think in English, to think in English. For example, I get up at 6, for example, I wash my face. I don't know. I have a hearty break. And when I was having breakfast, and I said, so I have a hearty breakfast with a piece of cheese and, I don't know, a cup of coffee. Right. And fresh bread. I just try to use collocations for everything and anything. You see that?
That is so interesting.
Yeah, without wash up or meet up. And when I was at work, at office, I just wanted to imagine, to imagine anything. And then started using grammar points. For example, about yesterday, yes. I was using I used to go to gym when I was a little younger. But now, for example, I go swimming from time to time. You see that? That was the way I prepared myself. Believe me or not, and I know it's a little bit. I'm not sure, but it's a little bit crazy for people to hear that. But it's a way exactly. As you said, Keith, and it sticks on my mind. You said so. You need to surround yourself with English.
Right.
Or maybe it's not possible for us to surround ourselves everything, but surround my moments in English.
Yeah, exactly. That's lovely. I think what I call those English moments, right? Creating those English moments. That's interesting that you create the moments through, it sounds like you're thinking in English and maybe speaking aloud in English, but imagining different situations, comparing the past and the present and etc. That's really interesting. That's a very, very good technique to do and great practice, I think. And obviously it's paid off from your result.
Yeah. And another technique that you told me actually said that people just think about their daily routines in English. Just think and say, oh, it's okay. But I started to record my voice every single day. Right. And try to compare my voice, compare my recordings from, for example, 1 week ago or maybe 1 week later on. Yes, I compare them, and I try to use my voice, ups and downs, maybe something like this, to pronounce words really, really better.
Right.
Really better. That was a great help for me. Yeah.
Right. That's also a great idea to record yourself, whether it's video or audio. It's a very good idea. Now, we mentioned earlier the exam has 3 parts, the speaking test. It has part 1, part 2, part 3. Did you use different strategies for different parts of the test?
Well, of course I did. Let me tell you something about part 2. That's something I did based on your technique.
Right.
Actually, part 2 is a little tricky, especially when you want to arrange your talking in 1 minute. Yeah. So I try to write down. But actually, you told me that. So think about your first sentence. Think about your first sentence as well. I do remember, actually, my question was all about, for example, describing a book you have recently read or something like that. It was it was really, I know it's quite easy, but I started saying that, for example, a book I've recently read, is none other than, Yeah, The Old Man and the Sea.
I remember. Oh, Ernest Hemingway. Yes.
Yes, Ernest Hemingway. Actually, because I expressed my opinion directly, yes, to the examiner, and it was a great help for me to know what am I going to talk about. You see that?
Right.
And that's what I could follow. I could follow, and I talked about, for example, there are many ways. I talked about the plot. I talked about the story, maybe the date or something.
That those are two interesting things. I'm really fascinated by the idea that the first one where you have this direct sentence to start your answer, because that is to help the examiner follow you, but you're saying it helps you follow yourself, if you're right, to have a clear title to follow. That's really interesting. I like that.
Yes,
That's great. So just having a few of these kind of fixed phrases that you've learned and they act as a support for the whole answer. It's great because what you don't want to do, of course, is memorize a whole answer. But if you've got certain phrases that guide you like a scaffold almost, it's wonderful. It's nice. I'm also interested, Ali, in part 3, because part 3 is the make and break for many students, right? It's where you either go up a level or go down a level. How did you navigate part 3?
Well, it's a great, actually, at first, Keith, to be leveling with you completely. At first, it was, wow, it was a big hurdle for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know exactly how to get through this. Yeah. But, I use your method again. I gotta tell you, OREC, yes, OREC method, yes. First, I try to express my opinion based on the question. And let me tell you about one question, for example. I do remember that, For example, my question was, do you think photography is important? Kind of question.
Right.
And, instead of saying, for example, yes, I think it's important, why, and say something like this. It's because I do remember you told me that, so it's good to say, well, it's a tricky one. And to be honest, I've never thought about it before. But, yes. Yeah. And that was the time, so you could buy time for yourself, yes?
Yes.
You can get prepared, yes. And you told me, I do remember, you told me don't start a marathon with a sprint. I do remember.
Oh, yes. I remember that, yes.
And that's why. So I said, for example, no, to be honest with you, I've never thought about it, but,
right.
And after that, I expressed my opinion.
Right,
yes?
right.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's crucial for everyone. So you can, for example, you can use, yes, I think it's really crucial. It is imperative. It is crucial. It is vital. I don't know, something like this. And I did something like this. I expressed my opinion, and I gave 2 reasons for this. And I use signposts, yes, discourse markers, like first, what's more on the top of that, something like this.
Yeah.
And I gave an example. After that, I gave an example. Look at some family photos. Wow, it's a great help for family and friends to get together and reminisce about their past. Something like this. And yes, and on the top of that, because I really want to, yes, use some discourse markers. And I conclude my talking with all in all, and that's why I think photography is important.
That's great. That's nice. I mean, for students watching, the as you mentioned, the OREC is the opinion, the reason, explanation, and consequence or conclusion. There are different things you can say. It's nice. It's very nice to see that is working and you're able to use that.
Let me tell you more about part 3, because that's why I'm super excited about it, because for example, some questions like, for example, some advantages and disadvantages, advantages, pros and cons, something like this. These kind of questions. Actually, at first I didn't know how to deal with these questions. I thought I would talk about both of them. But I really, and you told me, and I really know. So you can pick only one,
Yeah.
only one item, for example, about advantages, and talk about it if you.
Absolutely.
But if you have more ideas about advantages, upsides, or maybe downsides, yes. So you can say that, well, I'm in two minds. On the one hand, you can use on the one hand and talk about advantages or maybe disadvantages. On the other hand, you can talk about, for example, disadvantages as advantages as well. And then again, you need to actually give some examples. You need to give some examples and develop your reasons.
Nice.
Let me tell you, I'm sorry.
And this way, you never run out of things to say, right?
Of course. For example, my question was, do you think celebrations are, for example, celebrations are waste of money?
Right.
Oh, kind of this. And well, I said, to be honest with you, I'm in two minds.
Right.
I'm on the fence. Yes, I'm on the I'm on the fence about it. And I said, on the one hand, for example, celebrations are waste of money because people neglect the real meaning behind it, and some of them have become over commercialized. Yes, like Valentine and Halloween. I don't know, something like this.
Fantastic.
Again and
That's
again.
great.
Yes.
It's really, really interesting. I mean, some lovely language there that you can use. And I love how you're using them to scaffold your answer and develop nice answers. Interested, I mean, we've talked about different parts of the test. Thinking now about some students who may be watching, who are maybe starting to prepare for IELTS. Having been through the journey, what advice would you give students now who are preparing for the test?
Well, yeah, it's a really good, question, because it was my problem at first. Somebody actually, maybe they have butterfly when they go to the test room, and wow, they want to speak. But first and foremost, I think we need to, before the exam, for example, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, actually, you need to think about English, yes? You stop thinking about something else when you go to the room, and it's nice to smile and go with the flow. It's okay. So this is your time, and this is your time to show off your language. I know most of you that you don't like to show off, but I'm sorry to say that this test is all about showing off your language, of course. Yeah. And Keith, let me tell you something. Some people said, so how can I impress the examiner? Can I smile and say something nice about them? Oh, you look great today, or something. No, it's a really, really bad idea, Yeah,
I agree.
But you can impress the examiner by the language that you use.
Exactly, that's it.
My biggest tip for my friends, not my students, they are all my friends, just like you. Actually, I would say, when you don't know about anything, yes, for example, the question is really, really unfamiliar for you. So just go with the flow and talk. Yeah. When you stop, actually, you drop your points and you drop your score. If you stop and you say, for example, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly about this. Wow, it's a really bad idea,
Just keep talking.
Keep talking about something else.
Yeah.
For example, have you ever lost your wallet? No, I don't know. But my father did that, and it was about 2 years ago. For example, he was on the train coming back home. Something like this.
Exactly, and if necessary, make it up.
To make it up, of course. Who cares?
The examiner doesn't care. The examiner doesn't care about the content or the truth. They just care about the language, really. So, Ali, I mean, you've done the test now. Having got that score, I don't know, has anything changed for you? Have you seen any benefits from that now?
Keith, it's not necessarily saying that for example, your level is 8.5, or you are great, or you are the best, or something like this. No, that was for that questions, and it was my feeling that time. So something like this. But I tried really, really hard, believe me or not.
Right.
I studied about 1 year based on your, your videos, your
Wow.
PDFs, whatever comes from you. I don't know what to
You
say.
soak it up like a sponge. Very, very interesting. That's great. Well,
Yeah.
those are some really, really nice tips, Ali. And it's lovely to hear you speaking. It's lovely to see how, that has helped you today. I mean, I'm sure as a teacher, and not only pushing your comfort zone, but being more confident in your teaching, and everything you're doing is great. With the time, I think we'll wind up the conversation here. It's really good and interesting. Now,
Thank you so much.
I know you're a member of the Gold course. I hope you can stay with us. Do keep joining the live lessons, because you can come to as many as you like, and I hope it's still beneficial even after IELTS. Right? I think it can still be very useful.
Of course, actually, every single Thursday, actually, I keep waiting for your, your live lessons, and I keep writing for you. I'm not sure if you have, yes, you have read that or not, but I keep writing. Please, kids, please start with a new topic.
Right.
Come on, Ali, please stop it.
I see your messages sometimes, but not all the time. Yes.
Of course. But, Keith, I don't know how to thank you first and foremost. And it was great. It's a dream for me, because I really wanted to talk to you in person, and to talk about my journey, because I was practicing more and more every single day. I needed really someone, to keep me going on, to keep me going on, pushing me.
Wow.
And thank you so much for your time and your effort. I don't know how to thank you, but it is really great.
You're very, very welcome. It really is an honor for me as well to be your teacher and to help you. I mean, sharing this with me and with other students is thanks enough. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant. I'm sure you will be a great inspiration, as well as a source of great language for students who are watching this. I mean, in Iran and also all across the world. So thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom. And well, let's stay in touch.
Yeah, of course. It's my pleasure is mine, Keith, actually. I keep listening and, watching your videos, and type. Yeah, and type to you as well.
Keep typing. Lovely. All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to Ali for sharing his IELTS journey, his IELTS speaking success story. Thanks for sharing all of those tips, strategies, and ideas. I'm sure he will be an inspiration for students all over the world. Such a nice man, such a great student. If you want to find out more about the course that Ali followed and is still following, the IELTS Speaking Success Get a Band 7 Plus Gold course, you can find out all the information in the description. Remember, you just pay once and you get lifetime access to all the content and the live lessons we have twice a month. All the details below. Click on the link in the description and you can find out more. A big thank you to you for watching. For those of you who are preparing for IELTS at the moment, if you keep going, keep learning and keep practicing, you will succeed. You will get there. You'll become a more confident speaker and get the score you desire in IELTS speaking. For now, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.